Oh shit! 2 judges arrested and charged criminally in America. It's amazing. I did not think this day was ever going to come. But it happened, and I want to talk about it with you guys today. People, it's Saturday morning, the 26th of April, 2025. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning in Germany. This is the Insanity Report for today. Instead of yesterday, because yesterday I just didn't have any time. I want to remind you guys to help the algorithm out and get my content out to other people, new people. Please like, subscribe, comment below, do all the things that'll help me get pushed out to a couple other people there. That's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Go ahead and do it. Smash any repost, retweet, like button you got wherever you're watching this. And the best place to subscribe to my content is on the Substack, because there you get all the content, including the articles I write. Nothing is ever banned, nothing is ever removed or taken down. You can find it all there, and you get a notification right in your email inbox. So go there. It's allaboutlogic.substack.com. Go there and subscribe for free or for $5 a month to support me. Let's talk about these judges. Now, before we do, I want to make clear, because it's, I know a lot of people are going to say, dude, just a couple days ago, you were out here talking about Letitia James. Nobody's going to see any consequences. And look, it's happening. And it's not exactly happening. See, when I'm talking about the consequences that everybody's waiting for, it's consequences and accountability for all the things that happened during the last 10 years, right? That's what we want to see consequences for. Not that I don't want to see consequences for new crimes being committed by different judges and different Democrats at the moment. Absolutely, I do. But we'll get into that for a second. I don't think that this signals the kickoff of the accountability. Like, so many people are out there right now. Everybody's like completely elated. Everybody's like, oh my God, here it goes. The dam is broken. We're going to start seeing prosecutions and arrests. I don't think we're there. I don't think we're there. I'll tell you why in a little bit. Let's go over the judges. So I'm pretty sure the liberal media or the corporate media is going to spin this differently, even though I don't know how they really can, but they do no matter what. So we'll go over it real quick. Again, I'm going to shout out Watching the Watchers and Robert Gouveia on YouTube. He is the man to watch if you want a very detailed and insightful breakdown of these kind of cases, because he does it. He's a lawyer. He has all the court documents, all the paperwork, and he goes through it detail by detail, line by line, to explain it to the people. Actually, much better news source on this kind of stuff than any news organization could be. So we got 2 judges. One is a woman in Wisconsin, and you saw them both get perp walked. You saw the Judge Kano and his wife get perp walked out the door, and this other judge in Wisconsin get perp walked out of her office. And Judge Kano and his wife are still in jail. They're going to be in jail over the weekend. And the Wisconsin judge has been let out on her own recognizance, which means she has to just show up to court. She's not a flight risk, obviously. And they're being charged with different crimes, but they are egregious nonetheless. Now, let me go over the Judge Kano one first, because with this one, I even got a little bit of empathy or compassion with them, because if I put myself in their position, I may have done the same thing. So, Judge Kano and his wife met an illegal immigrant, a guy named Ortega, who is apparently a member of Tren de Aragua. I don't know if that's true or not. It's also irrelevant. Let's keep that out for now. The guy's in the country illegally. And the guy did some work for Judge Kano and his wife at the house, and they liked him. And apparently he's now dating their daughter. And so he was basically living with them. And the judge's wife and the judge were trying to get, him a green card or a visa or something, and trying to keep him, above board and everything. But he posted a bunch of pictures of himself on Facebook shooting guns and firearms and different stuff. And apparently ICE or deportation agents were looking for him, and they found him. They arrested him. And the judge destroyed evidence. So they took a bunch of his phones and took a bunch of the guns that they found when they arrested the guy. And they were guns that belonged to the judge's daughter, right? They took all that. They took some phones. And the judge just found another one of his phones and decided to destroy it with a hammer, kind of like Hillary Clinton did back in the day when she was destroying evidence. Now, I don't know why a judge, right, would risk his whole career and his whole life, right, for an illegal alien that's staying at his house. But I kind of get it, you know what I mean? If they're really friends and now the guy's dating his daughter and blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? Maybe he didn't know he was a gang member. Probably he did, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, they could have hid that from him. He could have hid that from him. Doesn't matter. If I have a buddy, right, and he's an illegal, and he's my friend, and he's always been good to me, and I've always been good to him. He's never fucked me over. And now I know that the cops are coming for him. Would I try to do something to help protect him or hide him? Probably. But that's a decision that I'm making, knowing that if I get caught, there's going to be consequences, whether I agree with it or not. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter whether I agree with the consequences, whether I agree that there should be consequences. I know there will be. And so I'm making a conscious decision as an adult to say, okay, I don't care about the consequences. I'm going to help my buddy out. So I get it on a personal human level with this Judge Kano and his wife. Unfortunately, he's the dumbest motherfucker on the planet because he got questioned when he got arrested. He got questioned about this shit. He admitted to, as a judge, you should know, never talk to cops. Get a lawyer, shut the fuck up, don't say shit. Now, the judge thought, I'm going to be able to talk my way out of this, right? And he said, yeah, no, I destroyed one of his phones and I threw it in a city dumpster after I bashed it with a hammer. So now he's being charged with destruction of evidence and of aiding and abetting an illegal alien and all this other shit. He could go to jail for a long time. Now, I don't know if they're going to see real prison time. I'm skeptical, but they could, right? They really could. This is something we've never seen before under any other president, probably something we will never see again after Trump is gone. I really don't think so, right? So we don't know where this is going, okay? Obviously, the liberals are pissed off as shit. They think this is crazy. It's Hitler. It's dictator Trump all over again. The whole shit's going to start again. They're going to try to do everything they can to protect this illegal alien and all the craziness. It's just insane that because I'm saying these judges would do this against their better knowledge. You know what I mean? And the reason why they do is because they've gone through their whole careers and their whole lives living under the liberal economic order, you know what I'm saying? The rule of law as they see it. And they've never faced any consequences because they haven't been enforcing the law on immigration, right? That's one of the things that's the problem here. The liberals and the Democrats, their worldview is, illegal immigration is not a thing. We're not enforcing that. They're not criminals. They're just American citizens with a different passport from a different country. They're not documented. They're undocumented American citizens, right? And that's how they look at it. Now, that doesn't mean that because they look at it that's right. Ignorance doesn't help you when it comes to law, right? Doesn't help us. It doesn't help us at all. So, and that's what they say all the time. Just because you didn't know what the law is doesn't absolve you from consequences for breaking the law, right? And these judges know what the law is. They know, and they have known, that, that allowing illegal immigrants into the country and allowing them to work and allowing them to stay here and allowing them to go through court proceedings without getting deported and being released from jail without being deported, that is already illegal, right? It's just those laws haven't been enforced under Democrat rule. And so now they're suddenly being enforced. It's not Trump taking revenge. It's Trump enforcing laws that are there, right? That's what's happening. And these people are so used to never facing any consequences that they don't realize what kind of a risk they're taking. And of course, that doesn't really count for a judge. He should know what risk he's taking, but they're so smug and so secure in their thinking they're going to be protected forever, and then nobody's going to dare come after me because I'm the judge and blah, blah, blah. And now they're in handcuffs. That's a good thing, because it's going to put a signal out to the rest of the judges. So even if these people don't end up getting convicted or getting very steep punishments, as they should, because again, if this was just a regular person, they would be facing serious charges, serious time, right? Now, they might not do that. They might be more lenient to these judges, because generally it is a two-tier justice system where the regular plebs like us get the hammer, and these kind of people usually get like soft touch, pussyfooting, treatment. So we'll see, okay? But no matter what, it's going to send out a signal to all the other judges out there right now that are considering doing shit like this in order to try to prevent Trump, right? To try to go against Donald Trump, because that's the reason, right? Because when Obama deported a whole bunch of people with even less due process as some of these people are getting, no judges were trying to aid and abet illegal aliens. No Democrats were flying to fucking to El Salvador to try to get a criminal, a gang-banging criminal that's illegal back into America. None of that shit was ever happening, right? So it's all the Trump derangement syndrome shit. That's all it is. These people don't feel like they're doing the right thing, or they are just doing, Trump's doing it, so it's bad, so I'm going to go against it, and fuck that guy. And they think they're going to get cover somehow. That's why they're doing it. There's no other reason, because otherwise we would have seen a mass explosion of shit like this happen by judges during the Obama years, when he deported more people than Trump has so far, right? So that's how crazy these people have become. Now, this story about the other judge is even crazier. I forgot what her name is, Hannah something. Anyway, the one from Wisconsin, right? So the Wisconsin judge is having a hearing with an illegal alien, yeah, who has been charged with beating somebody in a domestic violence case, right? So they're in court. The victim's in court. The illegal alien's in court. ICE figures out that there's a court date for this guy, and that he'll probably show up, so they show up to court, right? Because after court, they're going to arrest him and get him ready for deportation because he's illegal in the country. The judge gets word that ICE is in the hallway, and she comes out and yells at all the ICE people and tells them before they do anything, they have to go see the Chief Justice and explain to the Chief Justice that they have a warrant for the guy's arrest and blah, 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 an administrative warrant. And so they do that. And she doesn't notice that there's one cop still left behind, one Fed still left behind, right? And he's still sitting in the hallway. Okay, this is crazy. Just telling the story is completely insane, okay? They're completely insane. So he's still sitting in the hallway. The judge is pissed, right? The judge is pissed off. You can't do this, even though they can do this. That's what they're there to do. You know what I mean? The best, easiest way to get one of these illegal aliens that committed crimes is to show up at their court date and say, here you are. Let's go. You're out. You know what I mean? But the judge didn't agree because it's Trump. So what does the judge do? After she gets the feds into the Chief Justice's office to distract them, she runs back to her courtroom, checks if the coast is clear in the hallway. The reason why we know this is because there was still one of the feds was still in the hallway watching the judge. She didn't know he was one of the feds, and so he watched her check the hallway. She went into the courtroom, adjourned the hearing that was for the domestic battery case. So the victim is sitting there in the courtroom waiting to see justice for her batterer, or his batterer, I don't know which one it is. But instead, the judge continues the hearing, or discontinues the hearing, so adjourns the hearing, snatches the lawyer, the public defender, and the illegal immigrants, leads them through the door that leads to the jury box, which leads to back door ways out of it's not a public door, you know what I'm saying? The public comes in through the front door, the criminals get pushed out through another door, you know what I'm saying? The judge comes in through a door, and then they got a door for the jury. Instead of continuing the hearing, The judge doesn't say anything to anybody. The prosecutor didn't even know what the fuck was going on. The victim doesn't know what's going on. And the judge sneaks the illegal alien out of the courtroom, lets them escape through a back door onto the street, where the Fed that was still in the hallway, this sounds so crazy, I know. The Fed that was still in the hallway got on the elevator with them, right? So he was on the elevator with them. They didn't know that. He texts his buddies and says, okay, they're coming down. I'm on the elevator with them. And he's over there by the flagpole or some shit outside, right? And so they go over to him, introduce themselves. The guy runs away. They have to chase him for 20 minutes, and they finally catch him and arrest him. Now the judge is in handcuffs. That's crazy. That's crazy, okay? This judge took the side of a criminal, illegal alien over the side of the victim that guy beat in order to save him from deportation through ICE. Now that is bananas. That's bananas. I mean, it really is. That's the craziest shit I've ever seen happen in court shit. You know what I mean? That is madness. Now, why would this judge do this? Is she doing it because she really feels so bad for illegal alien criminal gangbangers? No. She's doing it because I hate Trump. Trump is bad. I have been pre-programmed by my Democrat cult to say Trump bad. If Trump does anything, I will counter it. They're like automatons that are just running to the front lines to get shot for their cult leader, right? So she is so lost in her Trump derangement syndrome that she can't even think clearly anymore as a judge, right? Or for her own benefit. She just doesn't. She doesn't realize that what she is doing, or she does realize, she doesn't realize that there's going to be consequences for what she has done, right? She doesn't think she's going to get caught. She thinks that she can pull this off, and instead, she does get caught. There's all kinds of witnesses that saw what she did. You know what I'm saying? Including one of the feds that she forgot was in the hallway. And so now her ass is in handcuffs and hauled off to jail. She got released, you know. As far as I know, she's not stepping down. Judge Kano, however, resigned, right? So they realize now they are fucked, right? The Trump derangement syndrome has infected them so badly. I mean, it might even get them off. They might even get off on an insanity defense. You know what I'm saying? Like psychosis, you know, because if you're in a psychotic state and commit a crime, a lot of times you won't get you'll get like hospital treatment instead of prison time because you weren't capable of understanding under psychosis what you were doing was wrong. You were incapable of controlling yourself. And this could be an insanity defense for them. Trump derangement syndrome. It can actually become a thing. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be their defense. What other defense are they going to have? You know what I mean? I knew I was breaking the law, and I just did it anyway because I hate Trump. That's not going to fly. You know, that's not going to be good enough. They're going to have to come up with some creative shit. They've got good lawyers. You know, they're actually going to come up. I think it's going to be the Trump derangement syndrome in effect. They're going to say Trump fucked my head so badly that I no longer can calculate my choices. You know what I mean? I no longer can. I can't think. It's fucked my brain because that's what happened. That is what happened. They wouldn't be lying. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't be lying. That would be their best defense if that's what they came up with. They'd be like, look, I'm crazy. I'm insane. I'm insane because they are. They're insane all because of Trump. It's crazy to me. It's madness to me. You know what I mean? That these people would put their lives and their career on the line. They would just say, fuck it all, and fall on the sword of the Democrats. Why? Why? Because they are literally insane. That's why. So this is great. It's great news, right? That they're getting arrested. It's a great signal. It's going to also put people that are like me a little bit more at ease because I'm becoming relatively impatient with accountability, right? Becoming very impatient with it. It's not happening. I don't see it happen. So this will put those people like myself into a more relaxed position. Okay, they're actually doing something. But now, let me burst your bubble a little bit, okay? Again, this is new stuff, right? This is new judges that are just doing insane shit that make no sense. This is not accountability, not for COVID, not for any of the things in the past, not for Russiagate hoax, not for fucking any of all the money being spent everywhere, being slushed around everywhere, not for corruption, not for any Congress people, not for any senators. Nothing from the past 10 years has yet to be done. There is no accountability for anyone. Like I said, Adam Schiff is still a senator, or in Congress, one or the other. I don't know what he is. I don't care what he is, but he's still there, right? The guy that fucked the Chinese spy and is on the intelligence committee, he's still there too. Everybody connected to Fauci that doesn't have a pardon, all still walking around. Everybody that's connected to the Epstein list, all still walking around. No arrest, no investigation have been, not that we know of anyway. Maybe it's happening behind the scenes, but I've been saying I don't think we're going to see accountability for those things. And the reason why is I think the Republicans for sure, the Congress people, the Republicans, and the low-level Republicans that are not part of Trump's cabinet are very, very scared that anything that they do is going to be seen as retribution. And if it's seen as retribution, they're not going to touch it with a 10-foot pole, right? I think that's what's holding them back. I really do. I think that's why we're not seeing anything from the past getting prosecuted as of yet. Now, maybe they'll still do it. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think they're going to. And the reason why I don't think they're going to is because I think that they are too afraid that if it looks like retribution, even though there's a legal ground for it, even though it's totally on the up and up, even though they've got enough evidence to put these people away for whatever, if it's viewed as retribution, they don't want to do it. Now, I don't know if that goes all the way up to Trump. I almost can't imagine, but I think that is what the holdup is. That's why Congress is not codifying any of the, executive orders that Trump has been making into law. They haven't done shit. Okay, Congress has not done shit since the start of this administration. As a matter of fact, it's just the same thing as always. Big talk about impeaching Judge Boasberg and removing him from his position and blah, blah, blah. Nothing's happened. They're not going to do anything because they're weak. They're weak motherfuckers. I've heard their rhetoric for decades, right? Their rhetoric is always, well, we can't do what the Democrats did. We can't beat them. Well, let me tell you something, yeah? Let me tell you something. This is my argument, right? Also, I argue with my buddy K-Mag all the time about this. If you don't do what the Democrats did, that doesn't mean they're not going to do it again when they get power again. So either you don't do it, but better hope the American people never ever elect Democrats again, right? Or you do it so that they feel the consequences of their own actions and think twice next time they have power if they're going to use it in such a way, right? They have to think twice. And right now, if they don't see any consequences, they are not going to think twice. Plus, all the things that the people are kind of asking for the administration and the government to do are things that the Democrats already did. So this excuse that Republicans and conservatives are coming up with, they're like, well, we can't, if we do it to them, they're going to do it to them. They already fucking did. They put Trump's lawyers in jail. They arrested Trump, the front runner for the election. Russiagate, fucking the Hunter Biden laptop shit, the censorship, the January 6th persecutions. They've already done all the things, right? So our side not doing those things is not going to prevent their side from doing those things. Do you see what I'm saying? The only chance you have of preventing their side from doing the things is making sure that they see consequences for having done the things. That's it. That's the way to do it. That's the only way to do it. Fire with fire. Eye for an eye. That's the only way to do it. I'm telling you. That's my position. I'm sticking to it. I'm not leaving that position. If you do it the way the Republicans in Congress want to do it, they're going to get steamrolled once the Democrats get in power again. They're going to be looking at charges. Kash Patel will be looking at charges. Donald Trump might go to jail. You don't think that after this, that these Democrats, if they ever get power again, that they're going to do everything in their power to weaponize the law against right-wingers, against Trump supporters, against the people in the cabinet, against Kash Patel, the FBI, against Dan Bongino, Kristi Noem, Pam Bondi? You don't think all those people's heads are going to be at the chopping block if the Democrats get power again? We saw what they're willing to do during the Biden administration. You know, they're going to open the border again. They're going to get a bunch of gangbangers back in the country. We saw what they were willing to do. Okay? We saw it. And if you don't think they're going to go double time now, if they get power again, you're fucking crazy. So either start getting them and doing to them what they did to us, or face dire consequences if they get power again. You can bet on it that you can kind of hope for that. You don't have to do it. And then you just have to hope that the American people never ever elect a Democrat again. That's a pretty slim chance. It's going to happen one day. And these motherfuckers are like the Chinese. They're gonna play the long game. They're just gonna wait. They're not turning over a new leaf. We see that. They're not changing course. We see that. They're not. Not at all. The election didn't teach them shit. Or it did and they just don't care. They're not changing course. That proves they're just saying, look, okay, motherfuckers, we're gonna get power again. And when we do, that's it with you, mother. That's what they're saying. Okay? That's what they're saying. So don't fucking give these people power again. The left must be avoided like the plague when it comes to power. Definitely. Not only in America, everywhere. They're dangerous. They're dangerous. And you see what lengths they're willing to go to. They're crazy. You cannot trust their judgment. They're crazy. So there you go, guys. It's, I think it's a good sign. I think it's a great sign that the law is being enforced finally. That's good. I still would like to see accountability for all the things that have not been enforced in the past. And we might see it. I don't think we're going to. I don't think any of the people from the past 10 years are going to get any punishments. But it does look like they're going to enforce the law from here on out. So that's at least something. That's better than we've had before. So even if we don't get the accountability from the past, it's pretty good in the direction we're going. It's pretty good. So let's kind of stick with that. Let's watch how this goes with these judges. Of course, we can be really happy, but again, they might get some sort of sweetheart ass deal, or, be able to get out of this with some technicality, or, just, I don't know. You know what I mean? I've watched people of this caliber get away with so much shit over and over and over again that I've become cynical and black-pilled on accountability for people in power. It just doesn't ever happen. So if it does happen in this case, fucking win. We'll see. Have a great weekend, guys. It's a good way to kick the weekend off, isn't it? 2 corrupt judges in handcuffs. Perp walked and everything. Fuck yeah. Take it easy.